Breaking news just into our newsroom. North Dakota Department of Health has confirmed the state's first presumptive case of COVID-19. According to officials, the patient is from Ward County, which includes Minot and the Minot Air Force Base. The patient is in his 60s and is in self-quarantine at home. Officials say he picked up the virus when traveling out of state, where he was in contact with a person who has since tested positive for the disease. Governor Doug Burgum and state health officials will discuss the state's response to this development at a news conference tomorrow at 9 a.m. Stick with Valley News Live online and on air as this story develops. And later in our show, how local school districts are responding to COVID-19 hitting this area.
After consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight.
That's one of the latest steps being taken by the White House in combating the spread of COVID-19. The announcement came from President Donald Trump this evening. The travel restrictions will not apply to the United Kingdom. Mr. Trump also says the U.S. will defer tax payments for some impacted filers. And Congress, for its part, has unveiled a multi-billion-dollar aid package that is expected to be voted on by the House as soon as tomorrow. Also today, the World Health Organization officially called the coronavirus a pandemic. The U.S. now has more than 1,000 cases and counting. Minnesota health officials also confirmed the state's fourth and fifth cases of COVID-19 today. The newest cases are in Olmsted and Ramsey counties. And South Dakota's governor announced today there are now 8 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the state. Governor Kristi Noem says the latest 3 cases are all men, ranging in age from 40 to 60. All are self-quarantined at home. And new at 10, the NBA has suspended its season until further notice after a Utah Jazz player tested positive today for coronavirus. It's a move that comes only hours after the majority of the league's owners were leaning toward playing games without fans in arenas. Now there will be no games at all, at least for the time being. Stick with us as Beth Houle has more on how the NCAA is responding to these developments.
When we have an unknown or we're feeling fearful, sometimes that fear can change our behavior, and we try to do things that give us a sense of control. So people are going out and trying to stock up even though it doesn't really fit the facts of what we know about this virus.
Stanford psychologists say people are making irrational decisions based on fear of the coronavirus, like overstocking on toilet paper. They say the fears of a new virus are causing panic. But as more discoveries are made on COVID-19, there should be less anxiety.
As we learn more about the virus and as we learn more about how to keep ourselves safe, people will feel more comfortable, just like we do with the flu.
As that demand for basic necessities hits stores across the country, retailers are having a tough time keeping the shelves stocked. Valley News Team's Alexandra Kay gives us a look at how overstocking isn't only impacting businesses, but the shoppers too.
Toilet paper?
Toilet paper. Just some general stuff here and there.
Yeah, toilet paper for the main part.
Lauren and Hector came to Walmart off of 13th Street to buy some usual necessities. Top of their list, toilet paper.
I'm kind of expecting it to be at least, over halfway out, but
We expect at least some here,
I'm hoping there's some.
Yeah, we're hoping at least there is some.
Moments later, they came out empty-handed.
There's no toilet paper. The aisle we checked, the toilet paper aisle, is completely empty.
Sights of empty shelves are becoming a problem nationwide. And even online retailers are having a hard time keeping up with the demand.
We may see, and you may need to be prepared for, a rise in prices. We had a supply chain disruption. We may continue to have more. If that's the case, in order to maintain sustainability, prices are going to have to rise because costs are rising.
Experts say while it's important to stock up, panic buying can end up being worse.
It's incumbent on all of us to do our best not to worry, do our best to simply act responsibly. And if we need a little bit more of something, get a little bit more of something, but not to simply buy in haste of worry without understanding the facts.
So how can you stock up and still do it wisely? The financial experts at NerdWallet have 4 easy tips. First, write down 2 weeks worth of meals, considering what your household eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Adapt ingredients as necessary and be ready to have alternative cooking sources in case of an emergency. Shop and store food. Using coupons could cut costs, and store the food in places where it won't be forgotten. And don't forget to use and replenish the stuff that's closest to its expiration date first. You can read the full article online or on the Valley News Live app. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Alexandra. And with store shelves running out of basic supplies, many have expressed concerns in the Valley about price gouging. The Attorney General's office says there's nothing the state can do as there are no laws in place to prevent retailers from raising prices during an emergency. New at 10, the House Judiciary Committee and the full Senate passed Savannah's Act today. It would require the Justice Department to develop protocols to address missing and murdered Native Americans, including information sharing and training for law enforcement. The bill was named after Savannah LaFontaine Graywind, a 22-year-old pregnant member of the Spirit Lake tribe and Fargo resident who was murdered in 2017. North Dakota Congressman Kelly Armstrong and Senator John Hoeven voted for its approval. According to Armstrong, on some reservations, Native American women are murdered at a rate 10 times the national average, adding that Savannah's Act will help with justice and prevention.